about this? Let's go ahead and move the show along. And in the sentiment of thinking of the most disappointing, the worst of the year, best of the year, biggest surprises. So I want to go ahead and make this macro. Let's talk about this in the around the entire league, right? I have a list, and you got a couple of guys that you wanted to highlight as well. That is just the biggest disappointments, major disappointments of the NFL season, not just limited to the Miami Dolphins. There's going to be some guys that we forget about. There's going to be some guys like Rashad that are fans of teams. He probably got a bunch of Falcon players that we could add to this list. But if we miss guys that you put in the chat who y'all think, because obviously we see things different. Put it in the comments. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you go ahead and pump this up too. But yeah, man. So how you want to do this, Rod? You want to blister your list, or you want to go back and forth?
We can go back and forth, man. Let's do it. Fuck it.
Okay, so let me go ahead. We'll start with the disappointments. So I'm gonna go ahead because I want to finish with my best stuff, my biggest surprises, because I have a lot of context to add to them. So let's get the biggest disappointments out the way. Biggest disappointment for me, and we were supposed to do 3, you feel me? But there's so many bums this season, bro. I couldn't just have it at 3 people, dog. Coming in number 4, man, Washington Bumpskins, man, a.k.a. the Washington Commanders, dog. We said it coming into this season. We have the video proof. You don't get a good team by paying for a bunch of old dudes. We said it. We saw who they were spending money on, and we were like, nah, that don't make sense. Why are you getting piano on my back, Debo Samuel? Why are you getting old-ass Bobby Wagner? Why are you getting Marshawn Lattimore who can't cover a cold anymore, bro? Like, I get it. The pressure to invest in a team because you have a rookie quarterback that went to the NFC Championship his first year out, you're going to spend. You think you're closer than you are. And we seen it blow up in their face, man. Number 4, this one really broke my heart, dog.
Number 3.
I was doing tricks on it, Rod. I was doing tricks. I was doing mini tricks. Number 1, I was boop, boop, boop. I was popping it. But for this dude, I was doing tricks on it, man. Bryan Thomas Jr., bro. Oh, my effing God.
Ooh.
We're talking about somebody who was not minimum number 10 in any top 10 wide receiver conversations going into 2025. You couldn't find a single list that had a top 10 wide receiver list projected that didn't have Bryan Thomas in it. We're talking about some guy who the second year with Mac Jones looked like a top 3 wide receiver. And then he fell off the effing map, man. Number 3, J.J. McCarthy. Now, J.J. McCarthy, I want to shoot the guy bail because this is his first time starting. But the reason why he's such a major disappointment is because who he replaced and what he did to the team. The Minnesota Vikings had a professional, playoff-ready team. All they needed was adequate quarterback play. He is the first person to do the unthinkable, something that has never been done before. He made Justin Jefferson look like a fucking scrub. Justin Jefferson was quarterback proof before he met the powers of J.J. McCarthy, bro. Justin Jefferson was quarterback proof. The unmovable object versus the unstoppable force. The unstoppable force that is J.J. McCarthy's shitty quarterback play won that battle. Number 2, the Chiefs. The Chiefs are a major disappointment, and they really shouldn't be this disappointing. But because of who they are, because of what they stood for, and because nobody expected the Chiefs to not make the playoffs, that was just not going to happen. Rod, I apologize. Wasn't you supposed to have the Chiefs? My bad. I just looking at my list.
No, you're good. No.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, so Chiefs, this is a true dynasty, and they just fell off the map. Like, when you see what happened to the Chiefs, it makes you appreciate what the Patriots did more. As annoying as that sounds, as annoying as that may be, it is hard to have sustained excellence for that many years, and it bottomed out. Like just completely fell apart. They lost to the freaking Raiders today. Now, granted, they probably did it for draft position, but the fact that they are in a position to where they're throwing a game against the Las Vegas Raiders to get a better draft position tells you where they are and how much of a disaster it was this season. But number 1, hands down, unquestionably, the biggest disappointment and probably the biggest egg on my face that I have ever had to endure. The 2025 Geno Smith experience. Oh my God. Rod, you want to talk about glaze? I'm talking Dunkin' Donuts. I'm talking 2J's Bagels. I'm talking Krispy Kreme with the hot sign on. That's the level of glaze I was doing for Geno Smith and the Pete Carroll Raiders. When I tell you guys, I was not every time when you do this long enough, there's a guy that you hitch your effing wagon to because you want to be right. You want to be the guy. You want to be the I know ball guy. Dog. Geno was my guy. It was me and Geno. We was like stepbrothers, bro. I was Will Ferrell, dog. He was John C. Riley, bro. We were supposed to take over. Only thing that nigga took over was turnovers, man. God damn, man. Geno Smith, man. Biggest disappointment for Herb going into 2025, man.
Man, you
Just for
clearly
reference, I had Geno on my list too, man. How many? Yeah, 17 picks.
He had 17 picks. And you know what's crazy? Sam Darnold led the league of turnovers, bro. Strange but true. Rob, who you got for your biggest disappointment, man?
Woo! All right, so for my biggest disappointment of the season, I'm going to start with one that might not sound like a disappointment, but you'll see where I'm coming from once I explain it. First disappointment I have is the Cincinnati Bengals, and I thought of them like when I was on the ride here because I didn't want to do Geno because you had Geno too. Herbie, I just put the Cincinnati Bengals because Herbie, think about this, and this is like big picture. Think
Yeah.
about what they have had. They have a guy in Joe Burrow. They have Jamar Chase, who you could argue has been the best receiver in football. And then you have T. Higgins, who has been a top 10, like what is he, a top 10, top 15 receiver? Easily, I mean, are they the best wide receiver duo? You add any other third guy and they'll be good, whether it's Mike Gesicki, whether it's whoever, right? And I thought about it to myself. I said, man, the Bengals have had what, 8 years, 6 years of Joe Burrow, and what did they have? What did they have to show for all of that? Considering how
Nothing.
great
Another year where they don't make the playoffs.
another year they don't make the playoffs, and another year where their defense it just doesn't give them any chance. When the guy played every game last year, when these guys
I
played,
mean, we can't say that, bro, because the second half of this season, the Bengals have played actually a lot better defense. Dude, they lost 20-18 today. That ain't on your defense, dog. Like, that's not your defense.
to the
Like,
Browns.
to the effing Browns.
So I had to start with them, bro, because obviously, when he got hurt early in the season, Bill's entire defense besides Greg Rousseau. Oh, we're gonna get to them. But look, for my other disappointments, my next disappointment, Herbie, I gotta go with the Bucks. And the reason why I put the Bucks, Herbie, is before the season started, we kind of had them pegged to be the de facto winner of the division, just because we hadn't seen. The Falcons are still young roster figuring things out. The Panthers, we didn't really believe in Bryce Young at the time. We weren't sure about him. He obviously proved to still be the same guy, but their roster is better than we thought. And then obviously, you look at the what was the other team in the division that they have? Oh, the Saints, who they actually they probably have the one of the brightest futures, right?
Yeah,
Considering
for
how
sure.
good Tyler Shuck has looked. But Herbie, I mean I put the Bucks on this list simply because of how they lost the division. Herbie, how the hell do you win the game that you're supposed to win and you lose because another 8-9 team in your division beats another team in your division? And all three of y'all finish 8-9 and you're the one who doesn't get in? I gotta put you as a disappointment. What? What do you mean you're in the worst division in football? Literally a division where three teams finished, every team finished under 500. Three teams finished 8-9, Herbie. Three teams, and you couldn't be the one that got through.
It's
You actually
insane.
did what you were supposed to do, which is
It's
win the
insane.
game.
It's truly insane how mediocre, how long the Saints, the NFC South has been mediocre, bro. Like it's
Unbelievable. It's like
insane.
Drew
It's
Brees
pretty
and Matt
incredible.
Ryan and those guys left, and it was done.
Yeah,
Like
it's pretty crazy.
Cam
It's
Newton,
pretty
like
crazy.
Herbie, this was a division that had Cam Newton, Matt Ryan, and Drew Brees at the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
all
So
competing.
when
I
they were
mean,
beating each other up is because of excellent play. And that's not the case anymore. All
wow.
right,
And
let's
and
run through the rest of the list. Yeah.
my last disappointment, just this last one, the Lions, Herbie. Now, all I'm going to say for the Lions is this. When I started the season, I'm sure Lions fans thought I was crazy. The Lions fans who listen, I said I thought the Lions would kind of take a step back, losing Ben Johnson, losing some of the offensive linemen. And it turned out to be true, Herbie. The Lions, they just didn't have the same. I don't know what it is. I don't want to say they didn't have the same aura, but they just didn't have the same bravado as they did in previous years. And I think Ben Johnson meant a lot more to that organization than they realized. Right? Not taking anything away from Dan the Man Campbell. I love Dan Campbell. Probably my favorite interim coach ever. Something only a fan of a team like the Dolphins can say. Right? But the considering the window that we thought the Lions had, considering how good they had been, considering what Dan Campbell had built up to, they, for me, one of the biggest disappointments in 2025.
I feel you, dog.